Hey guys, what's up? It's Fern. Welcome back to another Planty video. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about my current favorite houseplants. These are favorites that have just really been standing out to me the past few months because I only do my favorites every quarter now, so 4 times a year. So I just kind of choose the ones that have been especially catching my eye, doing something interesting, bringing me a lot of joy that like certain season or time period. Rather than when I used to do them monthly, that started to feel a little bit tired, a little bit mundane, and now this video has become something that's really exciting for me. I've been looking forward to this video honestly over the past couple of months, so we are finally here doing it. Current favorites of the second quarter of the year. That doesn't really roll off the tongue, does it? I tried to narrow it down to 11 again. I feel like that's just a really good number. That's what I did last time as well, and I was really happy with that. I do have 12 this time, but one is more of an honorable mention, so that'll just be a quick one. But the first one that I'm gonna show you is this absolute beauty right here. This is my alocasia frydek. I feel like I need to back up a little bit to fit some of these plants on the screen. This is my alocasia frydek, which is just, oh my goodness, this is turning into such a stunning plant. And I don't think I've ever featured this in a favorites before. I don't think. I honestly don't even really talk about this plant very much, which is just insane considering how beautiful it is. But this has been, I mean, it's always been a beautiful plant, but it's been specifically catching my eye lately because of this new leaf that it put out right here. I am obsessed with this leaf because of how minty it is. Like, look at that. This is literal perfection to me. Like, this is a dream alocasia frydek leaf. I honestly couldn't ask for a better specimen of this plant than this one, especially after seeing this come out. I honestly gasped. I opened the cabinet. This was living in the cabinet. We'll talk about that. I opened the cabinet and I was expecting to find a janky new leaf because it was shoved at the back and there's other plants coming over top of it and stuff. So I was like, oh dear, I'm gonna have to check out what this new leaf looks like because I saw that something had unfurled behind there. And then I saw this. And I literally, it was pristine, stunning, best variegation it's ever given me, and I gasped. So yeah, I'm fully obsessed with this leaf and just this whole plant lately. After I discovered that leaf, I transitioned this out of the cabinet because it was just getting way too big to be in there. I mean, it could be in there if I took some other plants out, but I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna try growing it in ambient. So this has been living out in regular room conditions for probably 2 or 3 weeks now, and it seems to be doing well. No new growth yet, which is, you know, not surprising that it's probably gonna take a little bit of a pause maybe to adjust to its new conditions, but it seems to be doing really well. I do have this in self-watering. This is in just my DIY pond in a just like Amazon self-watering planter, and it's been really happy in this setup so far. So I'm assuming it's gonna be fine in regular room conditions. I know a lot of people grow these in ambient and don't have any trouble. This plant's never really given me trouble about anything. Like, I've had this get bone dry before. It's never given me any attitude. I've never had a pest issue, nothing like that. So is that just because it was living in like premium conditions in here? Maybe. We'll see how it does now. But yeah, I'm obsessed. I recently added some stakes into the pot to kind of keep the leaves more upright. They haven't quite adjusted to all facing, you know, nicely out yet, but they will over time. Like, this one's kind of hidden in the back. But a lot of the leaves were just getting, you know, alocasia frydek and alocasia michelitziana, honestly kind of alocasia in general. I find that they usually end up needing some type of support because the petioles just end up kind of curving downwards. Unless you have a strong light source right on top of it, then they'll stand up. But yeah, I just like to give them some support. I find that it helps a lot, and you don't even really notice it. Like, once the foliage is all facing out, it kind of hides the supports anyways. So I've just been so in love with this. So of course I had to kick off this video with this just beauty of a plant. Okay, next is another plant that I haven't really talked about a ton, and that's mostly just because it's fairly new to my collection, but it's recently pushed out a new leaf. And when I tell y'all, like, this is another one that I'm just fully head over heels for. It is one of the coolest plants in my whole collection, hands down, and it is my begonia paulensis. This does not even look real. Oh my gosh, like look at her. Are you actually kidding me? This is one of the coolest plants ever. So I recently repotted her, literally just yesterday actually, into this pot, and I think that this looks really cute for now. I think I'd like to do like a kind, maybe like spookier, like a moodier kind of planter for her, but this is just what I had on hand. That was not just a plastic nursery pot, because a plant this cool cannot just be in a plastic nursery pot. So I potted her into this. There's actually a baby leaf. Oh my gosh, there's three baby leaves coming out right now. Oh man, you can see a baby leaf right there. It's so fuzzy too, this plant, the petiole. Oh my gosh, I mean the whole thing has fuzz on it, like the leaves. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but the leaves have a fuzz, the back of the leaves you can see. But obviously what makes this plant super unique is the spider web pattern that it has. And y'all, I did not know, like when I first got this, I really didn't know much about these. I just saw it and I was like, absolutely yes. I got this in, I guess like a local trade. And I kind of looked up more pictures and just like information about this plant afterwards. And yeah, these can get huge, like bigger than this. And this already just seems massive to me. When this leaf came out, it kept expanding every day. And every day I was just more and more shook. So yeah, this is obviously the newest leaf, and I'm in love with it. I truly can't understand how some people don't like begonias. I understand how some people don't like hoyas. I get that, but begonias, I don't get it. Like there's so much variety. They're so cool. They're so stunning. They're way more easygoing than people think. This lives in ambient conditions. I literally don't do anything special for it. It's dried out way more than it should have. It's fallen down twice off of the shelf that it sits on, and it's happy as a clam. So yeah, I would say that this has been a very hardy begonia for me so far. I've had this for at least a good couple of months now, and it just brings me so much joy. I cannot wait to see what this looks like in the fall when it's spooky season. Oh, I can already just imagine getting a cool video or cool photo and just like having this displayed in my dining room. It's going to be so stunning. So yeah, this is definitely a plant that I'm just super excited about for this year. Can't wait to watch it grow even more. And yeah, I already thought it was super cool with the leaves that it came with, these smaller ones over here. But just when it gave me this new one, I was like, you have to be joking me. Like this is so amazing. So yeah, definitely just like a really cool, unique houseplant that I honestly don't see that much. Like why are people not posting about this? I think they're a lot more available in the US than they are in Canada. But I'm so glad this is in my collection, and I can't wait to share updates with y'all as it grows. Okay, the next one some of y'all are going to be familiar with because I've been talking about this over the past couple of months on my channel because this is my philodendron domesticum, variegated, by the way. I always just start talking about plants and I forget to say what the names are. Yeah, I've been talking about this the past couple of months because it was doing something very cool, which was giving me twin leaves. If you have not seen this on my channel yet, it was basically giving me sets of two individual leaves attached by one petiole. Just wait, it's like super drippy right now, so it's kind of hard to show without spilling all over myself, but this one petiole right here is for these two leaves. Can you see that? There you go. So completely separate leaves, but they attach at the petiole, which is obviously super unique. I mean, as far as I know, I think it's more common to have the leaves like fused together and then kind of have two of the tail part of the leaf. But this one is like two fully formed leaves just sharing a petiole. So obviously very interesting. I really wasn't sure what to think at first. Like it just, the way that some of them were sitting, like look at these two, they're very much like they're just sitting awkwardly, and I did not like the look of that. So I was kind of considering just chopping the double leaves off, but y'all convinced me to leave them when I asked on Instagram stories. So I left them, and I'm happy that I did. I ended up just putting a vertical plant spectrum grow light in front of this plant so that the leaves are kind of phasing out more, and I think that it looks so much better. That's something that's really nice about when you're able to put a grow light right in front of a plant, it just makes it look so much nicer when the leaves are all facing out rather than facing up or facing sideways towards a window or something. So I've been really happy with how this plant is looking lately, and I've just been appreciating the weirdness of it, I suppose. So I guess a little update. It gave me 2 sets of those leaves with a fused petiole, and then it ended up giving me a set of 2 leaves again at once, but they have their own petioles. So this one and this one right here came out at the exact same time. I thought it was going to be another like fused double leaf like this, but no, they were separate. So I was like, oh, okay, that's really interesting. We're switching it up a little bit here. And now it's pushing out a new leaf, which got stuck. So I'm not sure what this is gonna end up looking like, but I'm fairly certain that that is just a single leaf. So it's really interesting that we're like going back to regular growing now. Like we had 2 fused leaves, 2 twin leaves, I guess, and then now we're back to just regular 1 leaf. And I'm kind of sad about it, honestly, but we'll see if this ends up growing like that again in the future, or maybe I should propagate the double parts and see if it will just keep growing like that. I don't know. But either way, this plant is just so stunning. I love the variegation on it. It comes out more yellow and then it fades down to a kind of cream, as you can see on some of the older leaves. This is a plant that I was really keen on. I would see photos of it on Instagram looking really beautiful, and I'm just glad that I have one in my collection now. This came to me in an import in December, so I've had it for about half a year now, and it's doing amazing. Probably doing the best out of all of my import plants. Yeah, it's grown a ton. I have the moss pole extended once already. So yeah, and I love this kind of like, because it was single and then it started doing the double leaves, it kind of has like a canopy effect. Like there's so many leaves on the top and there's just the single leaves, you know, on the bottom. So it's almost like giving like palm tree vibes or something. It's really interesting the way it's grown like that. This is one that's just been keeping me on my toes the past few months. I've been really excited to check on it and just watch the progress of it growing. And it's also just been looking so beautiful since I finally was able to get the leaves laying how I wanted them to be. So yeah, and tons of roots in the pole too. Like this thing really wants to climb. If you're looking for a good climber, this is actually a very, very vigorous, easygoing plant. If you want a variegated philodendron, I recommend this one. Like it grows so fast and the variegation's stunning. Yeah, I'm really, really happy with it actually. So yeah, philodendron domesticum variegated or variegata, whichever one it is. Okay, next we have a Hoya, and this might be a little bit unexpected because I've had this Hoya for, it's definitely one of the oldest ones in my collection. I've had it for about 4 years now, and I've never really featured it a lot or paid it much attention, but she's finally living her best life, and that is my Hoya wayetii. Look at how full she is. Oh my goodness. Yeah, she is looking just stunning. Now, like I said, I've had this Hoya for a really long time and I've always just kind of had it. Like I never really prioritized giving it good conditions or giving it good care. It was just one that I just kind of, I don't know, I just always kind of kept it and just like stuck it, you know, in low light, and it's just been very hardy, so it's survived all of these years. But when we moved in here last year, I just stuck this on the south-facing window and it just ended up staying there. And she obviously started doing a lot better. She was gaining more color, she was putting out tons of new leaves, new vines, just was really happy. So I left it there, and I had always kind of considered like, oh, should I get rid of this plant? Like I don't really know how much I love this Hoya or how much I need this Hoya in my collection. And then I ended up seeing photos of this Hoya's blooms, and I guess I just had never really looked it up before or been interested because this had never given me a peduncle. It was always in low light, so I wasn't expecting it to bloom. It was just kind of chilling, right? But I saw photos of the blooms and I was like, oh my gosh, this Hoya has to stay in the south-facing window because I would love for it to eventually bloom for me, because I love the pink little fuzzy blooms. I think that they're so, so cute. And I was like, why did I not know this? now I really want to put some energy into caring for this plant, you know, feeding it, keeping it in a spot where it's gonna get good light, and just generally putting more energy into growing it. And that's definitely paid off because obviously she's absolutely stunning. And I don't know why I wasn't giving this Hoya any credit because it is so beautiful. I love the dark margins of the leaves and just how dark the new leaves come in. Like, they're so pretty. But yeah, they have a dark margin and they're just really gorgeous. And now she's starting to trail down, which she never really did before. So overall, I'm just really happy with how lush and how beautiful this Hoya has been growing for me. But not only that, I've been especially invested in her lately because we have a peduncle. If you can see that, it's really hard to get it to focus because it's hard to hold this plant without moving it all over the place. You can see that right there. We have a peduncle, which I could not believe. I saw it and I was like, oh, no way. So yeah, we already have a peduncle. I mean, already, I've had this for years, like I said, but I've been actually caring for this well for a relatively short period of time. So yeah, I don't know. I couldn't believe it. I was so excited when I saw this. I don't know if this is gonna actually come to fruition or not, but it looks promising so far. Like, it looks healthy. It's not dried out or anything. It has that like bright, lively green color to it. So I'm really hoping that I'm gonna get a bloom. Where is it? Right there. I'm really hoping that I'm gonna get a bloom on that. It looks, you know, like it's gonna do something because sometimes a peduncle comes and you can tell when they're like not really active, but I would say that that one looks like it has a good chance of blooming. So my fingers are very, very crossed. And yeah, I've just been continuing to stay on top of watering and feeding and everything for her. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I'm so excited. Oh my goodness, if she's gonna bloom finally after all these years, I will just be so, so happy. So yeah, I just had to give her a moment because I feel like this Hoya doesn't get a lot of credit. I mean, I've never given mine a lot of credit in the past, or a lot of like love, I guess, but I don't know, I'm just appreciating it lately. It's literally never caused me any trouble, and it's lived through such just abysmal conditions. Like, in my old place, it was in a window that was literally like 2 feet from a stone wall, so it got pretty much no sun or anything, and it just continued to survive. Did not thrive, but continued to survive. And now here she is just living her best life. So yeah, that makes me very, very happy. And this is the side that faces the window, so you can see that the leaves are a lot darker and smaller back here. But yeah, I actually want to get this into a hanging basket and have it hanging from the curtain rod with the rest of my hanging plants. So maybe a repot will be in the future, but I'm definitely just not going to bother her until she is finished blooming, if she's going to. Anyways, yeah, I just love her so much, and that's a fun little update on how she's doing. Okay, the next one is the one that's kind of an honorable mention, and it's because I featured it in my last favorites video for essentially the exact same reason. I'm gonna feature it today, but I can't not show it because let me show you. Okay, so it is my Anthurium Crystal Mag Luxurians hybrid again. And last time I featured it because it had given me a new leaf that was absolutely massive and gorgeous. And she's done it again. She's done it again, just in time for this favorites video. So yeah, this is her new leaf and it's absolutely blowing my mind. I don't know how this plant is just casually growing in my dining room, but she is, and I am so appreciative of it. I actually wasn't even expecting that much from this leaf when I saw it coming in, because very early on I saw that it was torn and I just thought that the whole leaf was gonna come out janky, but the leaf is stunning. Like, yes, there's the tear in the corner, but or in the lobe in the corner, but the rest of her looks so stunning. And I've kind of learned with Anthurium not to expect perfection because they do just get dinged up so easily with the new leaves coming in. But this is the last leaf. The size jump is insane. This is the last leaf, which y'all loved in the last favorites video. How am I gonna do this? I don't wanna bump it. It's still soft, the new leaf. This is the last leaf. That one's sticking out more, so the perspective's gonna be a little bit different. But yeah, here it is. This one's definitely a lot more like pristine than the other one, but it's significantly smaller. I don't know if the size is gonna be like, you know, true on camera, because just the way that the petioles are making it look. But yeah, this leaf is, oh my, it's so much bigger than the last one. It actually is just absurd. And somebody pointed out, I posted this on Instagram stories, and somebody pointed out that it's probably because I repotted this plant, which I did. She's in this massive pot. I don't know when I did this, maybe a month or so ago. And obviously that has made a huge difference, because I moved this plant away from the grow light because it was outgrowing its old spot, and it was getting too close to the grow light, and the old leaf was getting bleached. So I just kind of had this plant sitting on the floor in my dining room, and I was just kind of moving it around so that it would stay out of the way, and it didn't really have like a nice home yet. So it wasn't getting like the best light or anything, but still, even in those subpar conditions, I got this leaf, which is insane. So I do think that the uppotting it made a big difference, and I know that it does make a big difference in anthurium leaf size. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's all I have to say about her. It just continues to amaze me what my anthuriums are doing. I mean, some of them, I guess, some of them are not doing this for sure, but when they do give me incredible growth like this, it amazes me, because I'm not an anthurium person. I'm a non-anthurium expert. I don't do anything special. I just treat them like the rest of my plants. So yeah, highly recommend getting this hybrid if you are interested in like an easy ambient anthurium that's going to give you big, beautiful, textured, dark leaves like this. She's just so dreamy. I'm obsessed. This is why this video is so fun to film, because I just get to show you like all these stunning updates on my plants. Okay, next we have a begonia again, and this one she's not doing anything crazy, but she's just really been catching my eye lately because she's been growing, she's been growing essentially, because for a while this plant wouldn't do anything for me. I actually had to like chop it completely back at one point, and I didn't know why it wasn't happy, and I still don't know why it wasn't happy. Begonias do this to me sometimes. And then I cut them back, I moved them to different conditions that I think are maybe going to be a little bit better, and then they start growing nicely for me. At least that was the case for this one. And one of my other ones, I did the same thing. I cut it, and now it's growing back. I cut it and I moved it to warmer. I don't know. I think temperature can be a big thing with begonias, so maybe it's seasonal. I'm just kind of rambling at this point, but the begonia that I'm talking about is my begonia lucerne, or lucerna. I never know with the name. This actually has a longer, like the formal name of this is like Coralina something, I don't really know. But this is a very common begonia. I saw this in the window of a puzzle shop like a year or so ago, and it went on my wish list straight away. It was like a massive, like huge, thick cane, so stunning. And yeah, I went on my wish list right away, and then somebody gifted this to me, and like I said, I had trouble growing it for a while, but now it's finally figured itself out, and she's growing, and she's just so beautiful. And what I'm noticing is that the leaves almost have like, it's not a velvet leaf plant by any means, but the sheen on the leaves almost gives that like just satiny, velvety finish kind of vibes. It's so beautiful, and the leaves can get massive. The whole plant can get massive, which is my goal. I would love to grow this like, I don't know, attached to the wall, or like staked really tall, or I don't know. I would just love this to be like a really showy, I want to say centerpiece, but that's not the word. Statement piece. Begonia. No idea where I'm gonna do that in my home, since there's not a lot of space to grow like large plants like that. But yeah, I love her so much. I think she's so stunning. She's living in the living room right now. She seems to be happy there. Like I said, she's finally growing. And just the way this looks, I love her so much. The backs are kind of red. She's not getting a ton of light, so maybe, you know, the backs would be a little bit more vibrant if she was. But I'm just really happy with how she's looking and how she's growing, and I'm so excited for the potential of this plant in the future. I think she's just gonna get more and more beautiful the larger she grows. I don't know what the heck was going on, why she was difficult at first, but she's definitely easygoing for me now, so I'm very thankful for that. Yeah, she's just been catching my eye. She's in my living room now, so every time I am sitting in there, my eye's always drawn to this begonia because she just looks so stunning. Like, she almost looks fake, you know? Like, just perfect. Yeah, I'm really keen on her. Would love to see her bloom as well. Hopefully she will sometime for me. Also, there's a new leaf coming in on her right now, and if you haven't seen how begonia leaves come in, they're so cute. At least on these like angel wing types. They come in just like all scrunched like that. Like it's like they're literally coming out of like a birth canal. Like they're so cute. And they break through and they're like, beep, and they slowly expand and expand. Okay, so next we have another gal that is a little bit tricky to hold, and that is my stunning, or not hold, but to show, just because of the way the leaves are. But this is my stunning alocasia. I guess this is now odora aurea. Used to be called alocasia gageana aurea. But I guess that they were reclassified. Anyways, it's this alocasia with stunning yellow variegation, and mine is getting massive. As you can tell, I grew this from a corm that one of my friends so kindly sent to me, and it's just been one of my favorite alocasia since I got it. Basically, it was very easy to root and start growing. This is a very hardy plant, again, really easy to grow. And the reason that it's been so fun to watch it grow is because this yellow variegation is Polaroid variegation, so it develops slowly over time. When the new leaves come in, I don't think I have a new one right now. We have one that's just like starting to emerge there, but when the new leaves come in, they basically all look green, and it almost looks like, okay, it has zero variegation, but then slowly over time it starts to develop like a Polaroid photo, which is just such a joy to watch. I love when plants have Polaroid variegation, even though I find aurea variegation to be the most difficult to keep looking nice. It seems to be very prone to browning for me. This one I haven't had a lot of troubles. I did notice some browning on this leaf right here, but in general, I haven't had any major problems with this plant. And that could be because I recently transitioned this from inside the cabinet to just regular room conditions. This now lives just below my window in the living room, and it used to live in my Millsbow wide cabinet, but it obviously just outgrew the space. I had to take it out. She also has some little pups down here, which are so cute, and I also just removed one in one of my past videos you may have seen, because I'm going to be sending that off for a trade soon. But yeah, this alocasia, it gets huge, it grows fast, it's very easy to grow, gives off lots of corms in my experience so far. And yeah, I just think that it's so beautiful. I'm glad that I moved it to my living room, because it just, for a while, I had it sitting on this vitro shelf beside me here, but it just, I don't know, it couldn't stand out enough on that shelf, especially because the leaves were all just facing up and then there's just a shelf above it. Now it's sitting in the living room beside the couch, and I can just appreciate it. Every time I go in there, I can see the leaves facing at me, and it's just, yeah, it just brings a nice pop of color to the space, and it looks really, really good. I'm impressed so far with how this has transitioned to ambient humidity as well. Like I just pointed out, it has that new leaf coming out, and yeah, it's just overall thriving. And I actually repotted it the other day as well, so I had to size up the pot, and it's in this cover pot that doesn't really fit this pot properly, but it's good enough for now. Yeah, she's just so stunning and doesn't give me any trouble, so she's been one of my favorites. I find that the variegation also never comes out bad on this plant. Like it always, I don't even know, can these revert? I kind of feel like the variegation is stable, but I don't actually know. So that's like just me guessing, just based on how it seems to me, but maybe it's not, maybe they can revert. I have no idea. Maybe I just have a really nice specimen, but yeah, the variegation on every single leaf, it's always giving me something to look forward to. See, this one is still even coming in. Like you see how it's more green than yellow. Like the other leaves, they're quite yellow, but this one is still pretty green because this is the last leaf. So it's still like fully coming in. And I also love the mix of marbled and sectoral variegation on this one. Okay, next is probably one of the coolest and most unique plants in my collection, and it has just come back to life for me, so I am so excited to show you my sinningia leucotricha. This is, I guess it's technically a codex plant because it's just this kind of like potato-y stump thing that this grows out of, and it goes dormant in the wintertime and then it comes back in the spring and this is the only kind of plant like this that I have in my whole collection. So it's very special, very different from everything else, and it just makes me so happy. The reason that I really was drawn to this one is because of how hairy the leaves are. These are like, they're completely covered in hair. They remind me of a dog ear, like in the way that they look and the way that they feel. It's a really, really interesting plant, super, super hairy. And obviously it has these stunning blooms that are just starting to come in on mine. Look how cute they are. Bright orange and fuzzy, and they're just incredible. Oh my goodness. And there's still, you can see there's a whole bunch more that are gonna come out as well. Like there's some that are just starting to develop. So yeah, it is just such a cool plant, and I really didn't know what was going to become of mine, because it wasn't really letting go of the leaves from last year. Like they were just crisping up, but they were staying attached. So I didn't know if I was to cut them off or what I was to do. I couldn't really find a lot of information on this plant online, so I ended up just like a few months ago, like still in, I guess I waited until we were like already into spring, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna completely chop. So I chopped, and then it was just nothing, and it grew this. So if it does that again this winter, I'm definitely just gonna chop the whole thing and just wait until spring. You can see there's like little tufts down here too. The back is super hairy as well. The petiole, like the whole thing is just very, very furry, and that just makes it really interesting to look at. I love fuzzy plants, but this one truly is on another level. Like it's like furry. It's not even fuzzy, it's like literally furry. I got this from Crystal Star Nursery, so I would check there if you are interested in one for yourself. But yeah, it's still in the nursery pot that I got it in as well. I've had this for like a year now, so this is the first time I've been able to experience it coming back from nothing, which has been just a really cool process. So I do want to repot it after it's like put all of its blooms out and everything. I don't want to disturb it right now since it's still growing. But I do eventually want to pot it probably directly into this pot. I think I'm going to go ahead and drill a little drainage hole in the bottom, because I just think that it would look really cute in here. Yeah, just such a cool one, and I'm so happy to see it come back to life this spring. Okay, next we have another big one, and I also see some ants walking on it. So if you see an ant or two, yeah, there are some ants over there right now. It happened at this time last year too. I'm gonna have to back the camera up. All right, so the next plant is my stunning philodendron glorious. This thing is getting absolutely huge, and it really needs a pole extension. It's like almost right at the top now. Yeah, philodendron glorious. She has made a full and total comeback for me. This plant really wasn't doing well in the past, and I completely chopped it up and grew this back from just 3 cuttings, I believe. And she's just living her best life now, as you can see. Look at that. Oh my gosh, that leaf is so insane. It's always crazy when I grab this plant because it sits kind of in the corner, and yes, it looks big, but I can't really appreciate the full size of this plant until I like am holding it, or I've taken it down and set it somewhere, and then I walk up to it and look at it, because it is a very big plant, and the foliage is dark, and oh, she's just so stunning. We have a new leaf here, which I can already tell is going to be big. Look at that. I find it so satisfying when they're still furled and they're just like hanging out here. Really excited to see that unfurl. I'm actually probably going to pop this in the shower after I'm done filming. This one is prone to getting extra floral nectary damage, so I do like to shower this one, like ideally a couple of times a month at least. It probably realistically only gets done like once a month, but yeah, I do need to shower off the foliage whenever I can. And that's also another reason that it's attracting ants, is because that's literally what the extra floral nectaries does. My question is, do ants eat pests? Like not that I want ants in my house, obviously I don't, but would the plants eat pests if this plant had pests on it? Because isn't that the point? This plant, if it had pests, it'd put out extra floral nectaries, and that would attract the ants. I don't know. Somebody tell me if you know if the ants would actually be like beneficial to this plant or not. Yeah, I need to sort out the ant situation. I do, but that's just life sometimes. Sometimes you get ants in your house, okay? Anyways, yeah, she's doing amazing, looking amazing. We also have a new leaf unfurling down here, as you can see. There's multiple, like I said, I think I potted 3 cuttings up. So it is a very full plant. I don't know if I would do 3 again. I might, like when I chop and extend this, I might just take 1 or 2 vines so that I could really focus on sizing up the leaves. But yeah, we'll see what the future brings. Anyways, I'm gonna be extending this very soon, probably this week, because it really needs it. And yeah, I'm excited to see this get even bigger because it's on a good path right now and I love it. Okay, next we have another Hoya, and it's another one that I've had in my collection for quite a while now. And I actually had to cut this down to, it was like just a small cutting I had to grow this back from because of thrips a couple of years ago now. But I finally have a nice bushy pot of this again. This is my stunning Hoya polyneura. I feel like the way the light is hitting it is not. I feel like it's kind of hard to show this plant because the leaves are shiny and it just reflects the light off of them. But this is my Hoya polyneura, just the regular green version. And I love her so much just with how full she's gotten. I think that this plant is looking absolutely stunning. And she's also just in this cute little pot that I got from the dollar store, which I thought was such a great find. I think this was $4 at Dollarama. I got 2 of them. My alocasia dragon's breath is in the other one, and they like perfectly fit these clear pots. This is the, how big are you? 5-inch clear pot. Oh my gosh, she has so many roots too. Oh man. You see all of her roots in there? Look at that, coming out the bottom too. Holy smokes. Yeah, this is a happy plant. She keeps just pushing out new vines as well. This was in my bedroom under my Soltec light, but it just kind of outgrew that space. It kept growing just up too close to the grow light. And the thing about the polyneura is that it will get bleached if it's getting too much light. This doesn't like being blasted with light, and it's also a thirstier Hoya. This is a thinner leafed Hoya, so yeah, it wants you to keep up with its watering, and it's okay with like medium light. So I went ahead and moved her out to the dining room, which has been kind of nice because she just looks so stunning sitting on the shelf where I've put her, and I get to kind of appreciate her more because I'm seeing, like, you know, you just don't see as much of the plant when it's up higher than eye level, but when it's lower, you can like see the whole thing and appreciate it more. So yeah, I've just been loving having her out here, and I can't believe how much she's grown and how healthy she is. Now, the only thing that I would love to see from her are some blooms. I've never bloomed a Hoya polyneura, but I would absolutely love to. This is one of my favorite Hoyas. I have the green one, I have the outer variegated, I have the broguette, the like silver one. I would love to get the inner variegated as well, but I don't have that one yet because it's still quite expensive and hard to find. Well, not really hard to find. I guess it's more so just expensive at this point. She will give me peduncles sometimes, but nothing ever comes of them. So I don't know. We'll see if she blooms for me one day. Anyways, yeah, just very full, very lush, stunning, a little feast for the eyes for us Hoya people. Okay, you may have seen this one recently as well because I have been talking about her, but this is my Maranta silver band, and yeah, she's absolutely stunning. This is a wish plant. Like, if there's ever been a wish list plant that has exceeded my expectations, it's this one. Like, I was not prepared by just how lush and robust and beautiful this Maranta would be. Oh my goodness. She's kind of closing up right now, I think because we're coming up to dinner time. We're not within her business hours, but nonetheless, she is stunning. I'm such a sucker for silvery minty foliage, and this, I almost called it a Hoya, this Maranta just gives that and more. Like, it's just the size of these leaves, the density of this foliage. Like, there's just leaves on leaves on leaves. She's been so easygoing. Oh my gosh, she's got roots coming out the bottom too. I'm gonna have to repot her soon. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put this in a hanging basket. I just have to go go and purchase one because I don't think I have one that's gonna fit her on hand. I took some cuttings from her recently as well for a trade. So she used to be kind of like trailing down a little bit more, but marantas will trail down to an extent. They're not gonna get like super long, but they will trail down to an extent and they look really cool. But yeah, I just love her. Yeah, this plant has just been blowing my mind. Like I can't believe how lush it is in the, like how much it's grown in the small amount of time that I've had it, which I've had this for maybe like, did I get it this year? Yeah, probably like less than 6 months for sure. Always flowering for me as well. Not as many flowers as she had before, but she always has flowers on her and she's just so full. So yeah, I'm fully obsessed with this plant. She lives on my Vitso shelf under Barina lights and she's really happy with that. She's one of the, you know, few plants that has just seemed to really thrive under the Barina lights. So yeah, sometimes there's like the perfect recipe of the plant and the light, and that's just what has been occurring here. She's just been loving life. So yeah, my beautiful Maranta silver band. Okay, for our last one, we have another silver plant. Sorry, can't help myself, but it is my Hoya Wilbur Graves. I cannot get over the beauty of this Hoya. It's just, I am constantly obsessed with it. And I've been especially just re-obsessed with it and re-falling in love with it over again over the past few months because it's been recovering from flat mites. It had a really bad flat mite infestation. I think like the end of last year kind of time is when that was really happening. But I treated this with the Safer's End-All miticide several times, and we're finally getting nice new growth again. She's finally filling out again. I'm not getting weird funky leaves. She's just looking so stunning, has made a full recovery. Like, look at her. Oh my goodness. Oh, I really feel like this is another one of those plants that I just hit the genetic lottery with because it's so silver. I love the contrast of the really bright silver with the dark green. Like that is just so stunning to me. But yeah, we have just a lot of silver on this one, and I've seen a lot of Wilbur Graves that don't have the best silver, and that's just like kind of the point of this plant is the silver. So I really wanted one that was just going to be a really bright silver. You basically want the plant to be silver with dark green splashing, which I feel like is essentially what is happening here. So yeah, I'm very happy with this plant. Got it in a trade, which was just so lucky. I got this and I got several silver Hoya in that trade, which was just incredible. But yeah, I love this Hoya. It's always going to be one of my top favorites. It's so pretty. I love the pot that it's in as well. This like green, it reminds me of a crystal. So cute. Everything about this plant makes me happy. This also lives on my Vitso shelf under Barina lights, and he loves life there as well. So yeah, that's really working for him. And since the flat mite thing, it takes 6 weeks to get rid of flat mites, I believe. So you want to be treating consistently within at least 6 weeks. But I still am just like every once in a while, I do a treatment just as kind of a preventative, because honestly, that was traumatizing that they came so hard for one of my absolutely favorite Hoya. Absolute favorite Hoya. Anyways, he's doing super well now, so super positive update, and yeah, he's just looking stunning. All right, so that is it for my current favorite plants. I hope that you enjoyed. I feel like I had a really nice variety to share, some really exciting updates, and just like immaculate plants for us to all drool over. I'm so happy with how my collection is doing for the most part. I mean, I am still experiencing some, you know, pest issues, not as bad as it was a couple of months ago, but I do still have like some mealies popping up and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of continuously spraying things down and treating things. But overall, I'm really happy. So I hope that you enjoyed. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on any of these plants. Let me know what your favorite plant has been recently. Anything cool that's happening in your collection, I would love to hear. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!